Welcome back to Clean Tech Talk. Today we're doing a deep dive into dry ice blasting equipment. And honestly, one of the most confusing things here is the price. It's wild.
It really is. You see numbers all over the place.
Exactly. We're talking machines from like $1,500 up to $25,000. So
Yeah.
our mission today is to kind of clarify that huge gap
Right.
and figure out, what's the real value in these professional machines, especially the mid-range ones. We'll use the Iolith AI30, that's $3,099 as our sort of case study.
Makes sense.
Now, the market background here shows this isn't just some niche thing. The global dry ice blasting market, it's booming. Projected growth is, 6.5% CAGR through 2030?
That's right. A really significant uptick.
And it seems driven by industries wanting cleaning systems that help them cut down on VOC emissions, volatile organic compounds.
Precisely. It's a major compliance driver now.
So, okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Why is this method, using QO pellets, leaving no secondary waste, why is it suddenly becoming like the go-to standard?
Well, it really comes down to the physics and the efficiency. Dry ice blasting basically uses accelerated solid QO pellets. Think tiny frozen QO boats.
Okay.
And they're propelled by compressed air onto a surface. Now, the really cool part is what happens on impact. The solid QO doesn't melt, it sublimates.
Bubblings. So
Yeah.
it just turns straight from solid ice to gas.
Exactly, instantly. So you get this combination of kinetic energy, the impact, and thermal shock, which loosens the contaminants. But crucially, it doesn't damage the actual surface underneath.
And no leftover mesh.
No liquid, no grit, no abrasive material, just the contaminant falling away and the QO turning into harmless gas. Zero secondary waste. It's a huge advantage. Now, about that price range you mentioned, it generally falls into three main tiers, mostly based on performance and, how heavy duty they are.
Right.
Entry level, say $1,500 to maybe $2,500. These are for lighter tasks. Output's usually around 0.3 to 0.6 pounds of dry ice per minute.
Okay, so basic stuff.
Yeah, light maintenance. Then you have the mid-range, maybe $3,000 up to $8,000. These are much more common for industrial or automotive shops. Output's higher, like 0.6 to 1.2 pounds per minute.
And serious.
Definitely. And then the premium tier. You're looking at $12,000, $15,000, even up to $25,000. These deliver over 1.2 pounds per minute, sure, but it's also about build quality. Aerospace materials, complex controls, motors built for 2047 operation, heavy industry stuff.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting with the data we looked at. The Aelith AI30, it's priced at $3,099 right at the bottom of that mid-range you mentioned. But the specs claim 0.66 to 1.32 pounds per minute output. That actually puts it, performance-wise, well into the mid-range, even nudging the premium category's lower end.
That is interesting, a strong performance-to-price ratio on paper.
So if it sits there, so competitively, what's the catch? Is there a trade-off somewhere? Maybe longevity or support, or maybe the controls aren't as, fine-tuned as a $12,000 machine?
That's a great question, and it immediately brings up the idea of total cost of ownership, PCO. The sticker price isn't the whole story, not by a long shot.
Right, the hidden costs.
Exactly. For any industrial machine, including that AI30, probably the biggest initial cost, often more than the blaster itself, is the air compressor you need to run it.
Ah, yeah, you need a powerful one, right?
Definitely. The recommendation is usually a 10 horsepower unit, and those aren't cheap. That's a separate significant investment you have to factor in.
And then you've got the ongoing costs, the consumables.
Precisely. You've got the dry ice itself. If you're running it fairly consistently, say 40 pounds per hour, you could be looking at maybe $2,000 to $3,000 a year just for the pellets.
Wow.
Plus the electricity for that big compressor. Maybe another $500 to $1,000 a year. So while the AI30 package at $3,099 includes things like nozzles and safety gear, which is good.
Good value included there.
Yes, but you absolutely need to budget for that separate compressor purchase and the ongoing dry ice and power. That's your true TCO starting point.
Okay, so it costs more upfront than just the machine price. But what about the savings? The ROI data we saw looked, pretty compelling.
Oh, absolutely. The return on investment can be very fast. Facilities often report saving up to 60% on cleaning labor costs.
60%, that's huge.
And up to 70% reduction in downtime needed for cleaning. Think about that in a production environment. Less downtime is pure profit.
Let's look at the numbers. Dry ice blasting, the data suggests, costs about $90 per 1,000 square feet, takes maybe 2 hours downtime, and zero waste cleanup.
Right.
Compare that to manual cleaning, maybe $160 for the same area, but 6 hours of downtime, plus dealing with whatever cleaning chemicals or water was used.
And that comparison makes the ROI clear. Most users we see data from report getting their full investment back, including the blaster and compressor, within just 6 to 9 months.
6 to 9 months. So the efficiency really does pay off quickly.
It really does. The operational efficiency often dwarfs the initial capital outlay surprisingly fast. And if we tie this back to the bigger picture, the environmental angle is, as you said, why the market's growing so fast.
Yeah, the clean tech driver.
It's fundamentally a 100% eco-friendly process. No solvents means drastically reduced VOC emissions. Think about paint shops, manufacturing. That's massive for them.
Appliance and safety.
And eliminating water runoff or abrasive disposal. That's critical for food processing, electronics, any industry sensitive to contamination or regulations. It basically solves the cleaning problem and the environmental compliance problem together.
So the takeaway seems clear. Before you invest in any dry ice blaster, you really have to look past that initial price. Focus on the total cost of ownership, yes, but also the potential efficiency gains and that ROI timeframe.
Absolutely.
And the data does suggest that for, general industrial use where you need solid performance without maybe the absolute top-tier features, something like the Aelith AI30 offers exceptional bang for your buck within its class.
It seems to hit a sweet spot for many applications based on those numbers.
Definitely something to consider. And as a special thank you to our listeners, you can now enjoy 10% off your next purchase at Aeolith. Just use the promo code AEOLITH2025 at checkout. That's AIOLLITH2025. Don't miss out.